Episode 15, guys. Let's see what's on the menu for today. Gaming, it's becoming a mental disorder or classified as that in 2018. Responsibility of getting review codes and what you should do with them. And can the Switch sell 20 million units in 2018? Is it possible? Let's find out. Episode 15 of the Planet Nintendo podcast. I'm your host, Patrick of Nintendo Talk. This podcast can also be found on iTunes, Dayspace, wherever podcasts can be listened to. And let's introduce the best co-hosts on the planet. Bobby, the Nintendo guru. What's up, man?
I'm glad you came with that first, man. But you're learning. You're learning.
been slacking.
You're just a little bitter at Joseph because he didn't show up last week. So I understand how I moved to the best co-host shot. Thank you, Patty, for recognizing my hard dedication to this.
I mean, last episode got the best ratings. I don't know.
There you go. Hey, man. Nice knowing you, Joe.
And I think it's Joe from Joe After Work.
What's up? So.
I'm alive. I'm here.
I haven't seen him in a while. I don't know who is this guy.
This guy, oh my god! Yeah, jokingly, I was gonna wear an elf hat that I randomly found in the closet. I'm in the bathroom recording this, by the way.
I was gonna say, where the hell are you at, man?
In the bathroom. Got into a fight, and he got the raw end.
Yeah, that's where he slept last night in the tub.
Literally the raw end of this. Oh my god!
Until she has to come to the bathroom. Until she has to use the bathroom. That's what I'm waiting for. Midway through the show, because you know they don't have two bathrooms. So you know she's going to have to go to the bathroom. And she'll be banging on the door. Joey, I go to the bathroom. And we're going to okay, guys, time out. Let me get out of the bathroom for a minute.
Are we carrying this over all right, okay. Oh, my God. This might take the cake.
It's taking something, all right.
Yeah. Oh, man. Best holiday movie ever? Just YouTube it when you get the chance. Who Killed Captain Alex? First video there. I'm not going to say anything else.
That is not the best holiday movie. Would you stop?
Oh my god. Just.
That's a weird way to say Bad Santa.
Yeah.
Bad Santa's the best.
No, it's
right?
not. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. The best ever. That movie is the
I would agree with you until I saw this movie. It is so bad it's good.
No.
Wow.
It's so bad it's good.
You know, I'm going to tell you there's a good movie, dude. It doesn't get any respect whatsoever. Surviving Christmas with Ben Affleck and James Gandolfini. Dude, this movie is so funny, dude. And as I'm saying, not that many people have seen it, but it is really good, man. It's where Ben Affleck is like this just really super rich guy, and he has like family issues and all this, so he decides to go back home to the house he grew up in, and the psychiatrist tells him to go back home and write his grievances on paper and light it on fire. So he's in the front yard of his old house. And here he is, and it's the house that James Gandolfini and his family live in. And as he's got the thing on fire, James Gandolfini walks out and takes his shovel and knocks him out. And then brings him in the house. And then he's like, what is going on? And then Ben Affleck just turns into he rents the family for Christmas. He gives them $150,000 to rent them for Christmas. It is so funny, dude. It's really, really good. Christina Applegate's in it too. It's a really good movie, man. If you get a chance, watch it. It's not great, but it's a really funny movie. It's good.
Was this the same year of random Christina Applegate movies that just started appearing? I don't know. She had a year where she had a couple movies come out back to back to back. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think I know what you're talking about now.
Speaking of Christmas, Joe, what'd you get, man? Any gaming? Did you get some new games?
Gaming wise, no. It's pretty much been knocking out backlog stuff. I'm that hard person to get gifts for.
The guy buys everything, man.
yeah.
Look at his Switch. I don't even think they need to give him money to go buy stuff. That's what they gave him.
No, yeah, I got this awesome barbecue sauce that's got some bacon and booze in it, and I got a shirt with Blade. He's one of my favorite B movie characters. Blade from Puppet Master.
Nice.
Yeah. That anyway. People will know who that is if they know Puppet Master.
Nobody knows who that is.
Oh man, dude.
Even the people that know Puppet Master don't know what that is.
So you're just playing backlog stuff right now?
Yeah. I mean, Blossom Tales, knocked that out. That's that game. If it isn't going under the radar, then dude.
I gotta talk.
You need to be picking that up and playing it.
I gotta talk to you after the show about this. I'm stuck on one part, and I know that you can tell me how to get through it. That game is really, really good though.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like It'll Do Too, where like
no, sir. It is better than It'll Do Too.
It is. Oh no, yeah,
it buries It'll Do Too.
It is better. It knocks it out of the park 12 times over.
Yeah.
But in terms of like, the exploration stuff, like there's a ton of stuff that you can just miss and not do. Like I went through that game without using the shovel because I didn't know where it was.
Yeah.
And then I found a shovel.
I found a shovel pretty early and it's been helping me out a lot. Find stuff. Yeah. But dude, like the thing that drives you crazy with It'll Do Too that I love about this is you're smashing stuff all over the place at It'll Do Too. You get nothing for smashing stuff.
Oh, no. This game is very unforgiving with that.
This game is like you smash stuff, you break, like, you get, like, items. You can't get nothing in It'll Do Too. You're just running around breaking stuff up, and it's like, what's the point of this?
But it's so cute, though.
Yeah, this is much cuter and much better.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
It's almost like playing an HD remaster of A Link to the Past in sorts of ways.
Yeah.
And then the busiest man on the planet gets a new console.
Yeah, man. Oh, my God, dude. Yeah, I got the Xbox One S, and I've been playing Destiny 2 and Forza 3 like mad. Those games are so good. Which I will say this. If you own a Switch, you don't own an Xbox One X, go buy Gears Unlimited for the Switch. Dude, playing that and then going to Forza, it's pretty similar. Like you don't have the festival and all that stuff that you have in Forza, and it's not some Aussie woman talking to you and all that stuff, and there's not like continually voice acting and stuff. But like as far as like the racing and the cars and all that stuff, like obviously Forza there's a much bigger budget. There's much more cars in it, but I'm surprised the quality of cars that are in Gears Unlimited. They have Camaros and Corvettes and all that stuff, Mustangs and BMWs and all these crazy fast cars and stuff, Lamborghinis. Same thing that's in Forza. Forza just has a much deeper, but you also have to pay for a lot of cars in Forza, like DLC packs and stuff, which you don't in this game. This game, it's all there, man. Yeah, but I've been like just for 2 days sitting on my chair just playing Destiny 2, and I'm like, oh my God, dude, this game is so good, dude.
Jeez. Meanwhile, Xenoblade's in the back. Like,
I know, man. I'm like, what? Why did I do this, dude? The thing of it is like, part of me is like, just don't even touch the Xbox. Just go play your other stuff. But then I'm like, my wife is gonna be mad if she bought this for me and I don't use it at all.
There's a lot of good games on the Xbox. There is.
Yeah. Like I bought Cuphead as well, dude.
Welcome to hell,
man.
Dude. I feel that I'm a pretty good Mario player, and this game is like, what the hell is going on, dude? It is. Anyway, yeah. So there's that. So that's where we're at with that stuff.
Oh man.
Couple pickups. Monopoly. Best $20 I ever spent. Come on, man.
Oh my God.
Really?
And $20, man, physical.
Yeah.
I figured at the worst case scenario, it's a fun stream.
But did they fix it?
Yeah, I think so.
You think so?
Load times are down, and
okay.
I mean, some people have reported bugs, but like that's it.
I don't care about. Well, I care about bugs. I care about game breaking bugs because it would drive me crazy if I got somewhere and it crashed or whatever. But like, the load times were the biggest issue. That thing was taking like 7-8 minutes to load the game up and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's gone.
I heard about that.
Okay.
And then Resident Evil Collection.
Yes.
Dude.
Yes.
Revelations 2 took 3 hours to download.
Dude, it
That
took a
was
while. Yeah,
that
it
was
took me a
disgusting.
while too.
And then I
Oh
got
man.
Ukulele. I was gonna wait on it, dude. It's fucking fantastic. If you like N64 games, you're gonna love it. And I think that's it. And then I have some credits on the eShop. I'll probably get Blossom Tales
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
like if you like N64 games the way they were back in 1990, yeah, absolutely, you're gonna love
Oh my
Ukulele.
god.
Although it doesn't really look that great handheld. I mean, it looks all right, but I'm not really a handheld guy.
Yeah, you
But
know what? The game, I'm not getting it until it comes down to price. I'm not spending.
Don't worry.
I'm not spending full. No.
it'll drop soon. I know I'm an idiot, but I just had to get it. Yeah. So let's go into our first topic, and it's more of a serious topic. It's our first 2018 topic. Gaming is to be recognized as a mental health condition. Excessive gaming is going to be recognized as a mental health condition in 2018. Let me read the word for word what it says. So the World Health Organization defines the disorder as a persistent or recurrent behavioral pattern of sufficient severity to result in significant impairment in personal, family, social, educational, whatever, important areas of functioning. The disorder is characterized by impaired control with increasing priority given to gaming and escalation despite negative consequences. Basically, taking away from your personal life, your job, stuff like that. I thought it was interesting enough to bring to the podcast, so I will start with Joe. Joe, what do you think of this, man?
It's funny. You mentioned it in the Discord yesterday. And I was like, oh, I forgot that was even a thing these past couple of days. Why? Like, I just don't understand where this is like this whole Jack Thompson situation coming to like somewhere. Jack Thompson is in the back, just like laughing, like ha 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 ha, ha we win. I can understand disorders and illnesses and whatnot, but I just don't feel like how did this just randomly like I haven't done much research other than like saw a couple of articles and like skimmed through it real quick, so I'm not like up to snuff on the whole situation, but it just feels like this came out of left field. Like, oh, hey,
Yeah.
suddenly we have this disorder, and I just don't feel like this should even be a thing. Like, I feel like I mean, even if the way I'm saying it, like things should all be taken in moderation. Like, I just feel like if you're spending all this time and it's affecting jobs and opportunities and whatnot, maybe there's a deeper rooted problem than the game itself that's causing this issue to begin with. Like,
Yeah.
I can't see video games being blamed for this exact thing. It doesn't click with me at all.
Bobby,
I
what do you
think
think
that
about
speaks
this,
with video gamers everywhere, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I feel like two things are going to basically come out of this. Some people that really need help are going to get the help now, but now all gamers are going to get a bad, rap where it's going to be like if you talk to somebody who doesn't understand games, who doesn't play games, and they hear about it, now they're going to go, oh, you have one of those disorders. Like, they're not going to understand it. Like, there's people that just casually play games, and people that play games and are into games, and it's a big part of their life, but it's not. To me, to me, there's two sides to games. It's like a sports addict, or someone that just watches sports all the time. There's someone that watches sports all the time and consumes sports all the time, and they're okay. But then there's people that, like, quit their jobs, lose their jobs, because they're totally focused on sports. And it's like Joe said, it's not the sport. There's something else that's causing these issues. It's if a person starts gambling and all that, like, he has a different issue overall. With gamers, don't get me wrong, there's people that basically lock themselves away and just lose themselves. But there's a deeper issue to what's going on. It's not the games. The games aren't causing the issue. The games are the getaway. You know what I mean? It's no different than anything. It's no different than someone that draws all the time. You can get lost in drawing all the time. Does that mean that that's an epidemic now? And there's, no. It means that like you can't say that games is the issue. No, games is the escape.
Yeah.
Games is what's getting people away. It's like drugs. Drugs aren't the issue. Drugs are the escape. That's what they're addicted to. The drugs. They have an addiction. It's not the drugs issue. Like the drugs aren't sitting there going like, "Hey, snort me up your nose." You know what I mean? Like games aren't sitting on the shelf going like, "Hey, play me." You know what I mean? Like you're the one. You have the addictive personality. You're the one that there's a deeper rooted issue that's the problem. Now, what does this mean? It could be a situation where families have friends, and like I've heard stories. WoW comes to mind of people that just lose their lives in this game and other games. You know what I mean? So, basically, what boils down to it all is maybe people weren't able to get help because it wasn't listed as a true addiction thing. So meaning Patrick's hooked out on Mario Kart and we can't get him off the thing. So we decided to take him to a specialist or someone to help him. Insurance might not cover it because it's not listed. This now gets insurances to cover things. So that could essentially be what it's all about. I don't think this is as bad as it is. I think the knee-jerk reaction is, oh, you're blaming games for things. But the truth is like I don't think that's really necessarily what this is about. I think it's a big like we're saying that the blaming gaming is not the issue. It's a deeper issue. I feel like blaming this law is that it's an attack on games. There's more to it. There's some legal ramifications that they're trying to get around because you break your hand playing baseball. They don't go like, oh, we can't treat your hand. Like if you that's a bad case. If I need to get admitted into a drug rehab, they would admit me into a drug rehab. If someone needed to admit me into a rehab for an addiction on gaming, they're going to laugh me out of the place. But now people will now take it serious and go like, no, we need to really look into this and see how we get this guy out of his basement to wash his hair, take a shower, because this happens. And I'm not saying that to be funny. Like that's truthfulness.
Yeah.
Like, I read an article over on psvg.com, playsomvideos.com, and the guy actually goes into detail talking about like he was playing WoW, the original one, and like literally it was like leaving his job early, lost his job, wasn't taking a shower. His family wouldn't come downstairs because it stunk so bad because he would just stay down there the whole time, just getting in raids and just to become like this high level thing, and then like flunked out of college and all this stuff because he put that as a priority. So there is some validity to it, I believe.
Yeah, I feel like there is. I absolutely agree with that. I feel like there's always been a disconnect between gamers and non-gamers, and there's this weird gray area where people just try to justify why it's being done. I also think that we're living in a time where gaming has never been more social. Like there's multiplayer games. Online is becoming like the norm for games. There's games that are online only where you have to cooperate with people, like The Division and like Rainbow Six and stuff like that. I do agree with you guys that there are underlying things, depression and anxiety and like the addictive personalities of people. I just thought it was interesting, and I feel like this is gonna be me soon, guys. I'm gonna have to go into rehab for this, and
and it's funny, like I mean, you're saying it, but I mean, who's to stop somebody from just like trying to take advantage of that system? And I know this is probably gonna take it to a whole other thing, and I'll probably shoot myself in the foot down the road later on for saying this. But it's just like, who there will probably be people who take advantage of this.
There's people take advantage of everything, and that's
yeah, and it'll be sad, that's for sure. But why video games specifically? Like, and again, this is me needing to do research on this. Is this the same thing is there a same illness for this for movies? Is there a same illness for this for sports? Is there a same, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's true, yeah.
How
I think
that'll end up going?
I think ultimately, Joe, you're looking at the bad side. You feel like gaming is getting a bad rap here, and I don't see that side of it.
I don't. At the end of the day, no, I don't think it'll have a bad rap. Like, it's just gonna be one of those things.
Like I said, I think it's more where they got to get a label on it, so this way people can get help. You know what I mean? Like
yeah. Like,
I read this guy's article on this website, dude, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap, dude. Like, you literally flunked out. Like, he had scholarships, and he lost his scholarships because he flunked out of college. And then flunks out of college, and then he just gets a part-time job, the least amount of hours he could get, so he could get home to raid with his clan and all that stuff. Like, that's just... So, yeah, there's definitely people that need some type of help, and I feel like it is warranted. I feel like where Patrick is saying, like, there's a disconnect between gamers and non-gamers.
Yeah.
Where... And that's... Like, that's what gamers need to have as their backup, because they're going to get questioned on from non-gamers. Like, oh, well, you're playing a Switch. Does that mean you're... No. There's people out there that are really like...
Yeah, there's going to be a stigma to it.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, because it's like, here's the thing. Like, how many people in our country drink beer? Not every person's an alcoholic.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the way you need to basically throw it at people, is like, listen, how many people play video games? And what's the percentage of people that are addicted to video games? It's the same as an alcoholic. Same as alcoholism.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't really use a drug thing because nobody's really supposed to be doing drugs. But, like, you know, doesn't stop Patrick. You know,
doesn't stop.
Yeah, but I mean, this brings up a good point of, like, you have like all these loot boxes that, you know, people are saying that they bring out addictive personalities depending on what it is and whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean, we go back to gambling on that one.
I mean, that's the truth. Like, what if you go into, like, that's the whole thing too. Like, that's something where, like, maybe you're addicted to buying loot boxes, and you're basically spending your entire paycheck. You know what I mean? Like, and you're losing your house.
But wouldn't that just fall under gambling then, as a gambling?
Oh, that's
insane. Like,
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Because it's not viewed in the same vein. Like, yes, there's underlying issues to why they are that, but you can't even get in the door to find out what those underlying issues are unless gaming as a whole gets labeled, because you can't walk in. Because here's the thing. Doctors don't know how to treat it. Now that it's a thing, doctors will actually go and start doing research and finding out.
Will they?
There's legitimate doctors out there that will go in, and psychiatrists. There's a legitimate psychiatrist that will now.
And I don't mean to be a jerk about it.
Yeah.
I'm like it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're also living in a time where there's people that are streamers, like, as a full-time job, and like video game journalists and stuff, and like I feel like that wasn't so much the case like even a few years ago.
Yeah.
So it's just a new landscape of video games in general.
Yeah.
And for insurance purposes, it makes sense. It's just it's out there, man.
Yeah.
And another topic to. Oh, Joe, just take it away, Joe. Take it away.
Oh man, this is funny. This got me riled up. But what was this? Was this even? This was Christmas Eve, wasn't it? That I brought this up. I got all riled up. I won't mention names or anything like that. But I was on Twitter and I saw something there posted, and then that thread led to this other person that's pretty well known. To say some things in regards to review codes and how they go about getting their review codes. And we're talking a person that's very high up. And I personally have grown on this person over a few years, like listening to them and whatnot on shows and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's very interesting the way you're approaching this. And basically, it came down to review codes and people requesting them, getting them, and not providing a review or any sort of coverage on it. And this person said that they didn't, that they sometimes just ask for review codes to have as part of their collection. And that review codes, I'm paraphrasing this, so this is not verbatim what they said, but basically that review codes aren't subjected to getting review, even if they've received them. So it's not basically it's not a one-to-one, like I'm asking for a review code, I don't necessarily have to review the game. So my question to you guys is, what do you guys... where do you guys stand on what review codes are meant to be for? What is your responsibility, and is it real? Should a review code given to you provide coverage if you are the one requesting it? Bobby, I'll go to you because I feel like
because I'll call people out. I don't give a damn.
Yeah,
we've been down this road before. I could care less.
I would, for the respect of both people, I don't want to mention any names.
I'm mentioning names. Don't worry about
You
that.
trying to look for it?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm looking it up now. So essentially, what happened was, Jules Watcham, he put out a tweet basically saying that, you know, I've given a lot of code. I found it. So Jules starts out, he says, I have sent out dozens and dozens of requested free download codes of Mutant Mudds to press folks. Yet I am not finding dozens and dozens of articles/videos about the game. You know who you are, and so do I. Now, Justin Davis of IGN comes in, and he replies and says, review copies aren't traded for coverage. So then Jules comes back and says, as stated in my original tweet, I am referring to outlets who specifically request free codes and then do not cover the game at all. Justin then came back and says, I understand and still object to the expectation. Regardless of free copies being requested, all coverage is up to editorial discretion. I personally request games frequently to have on background, I don't understand what that means, or for library purposes. So Jules came back.
I think they meant like backlog or something like that.
I guess. I don't know. And then Jules came back and said, sure, but indie teams with finite number of codes have to be careful with how they distribute them. Here's the thing. This is the way I look at it.
Not to name any names in particular, but
Justin Davis is way off base with this. So what Jules is basically saying is there was a bunch of people that went and requested free copies of the game for a review, and then never came through and did a review or a video or a blog or anything with it. They just basically used that term to get a free game, and then did nothing with the game afterwards. So Justin's basically saying, like, what Justin is saying is correct in the terms of, like, hey, if Jules sent this game to different outlets and they don't do a review, well, oh well, that's the risk you took. You know what I mean? Like, if Jules sent this game to Kinda Funny and to IGN and to Kotaku and Game Explain, and they don't do anything with the game, well, that's on Jules because they never asked for it. You don't know what their schedule looks like. You just send it and give them a shot. In this particular situation, I know, because of conversations, people have requested the review codes and did not do anything with it. Now, I, this time, did not take a review code. I felt like I needed to support the game, so I bought the game with my own money. Chicken Wiggle, he gave me a free demo of Mutant Mudds Super Challenge a year or two ago. He gave me a review code for it, and I did reviews on both of those. He gave me the codes, I did reviews. If I ask for something, you're damn right I'm going to do something with it. Because if I'm asking you for it, then I feel obligated to supply something to do something with. But if you give it to me, then, well, that's my discretion at that point. Do I have time to do it? Do I not? Like, I'll get to it when I get to it. But if I go and I ask, dude, I'm just going to call it as it is. There's some YouTubers out there that don't deserve codes. There's some podcasters out there that don't deserve codes. You should be thanking God that you got the code in the first place. And then you don't do no coverage on it? Dude, you're a scumbag. Straight up. And I don't care. I can care less. I know who people are. You're scumbags. Like, stop being a piece of trash and go do the video. Go do the review. If you're going to go out and ask for a code, because here's the thing. Look at who's getting review codes from Nintendo, Ubisoft, Activision, EA, Sony, Bethesda, all them. And then look at the people that are getting all the indie games. 2 different people. So look at the people that are doing the indie games, right? Look at the ones that are doing the indie rounds and who didn't review Mutant Muds. And that'll tell you who got review codes and didn't do the thing. And it's not rocket science. You can figure it out real easily. But you're scumbags. Straight up. You know what I mean? Like, if you're that much of a piece of trash to ask somebody for a free game and then you don't do coverage on it, you're garbage. You're garbage. It's different if he gave you the game and said, hey man, do a review on this, or whatever, or check this game out. Then that's your discretion. But I know for a fact that thousands of people were asking for review copies. So much so that Jules had to change his criteria, because Nintendo only gives you so many to give out. Yeah. It doesn't give you like a boatload. Like, Nintendo says, like, okay, we're going to give you 50, 500 codes, whatever it might be. And that's it. They don't give you more than that. And I know that this is a problem with a lot of indie games, or a lot of indie companies, because Zoink Games, I know from talking to their PR people, like, they basically had to create a criteria, because just everybody that just had a YouTube channel was requesting them, and they were like, we don't know who's what, and like, we don't know how big they are, and it's no different than, like, if I never heard of Patrick, right, and Patrick just supplies me with, or asks me for a quote, I might be like, no, because I never heard of him at that point. But then, if I go and I do a little research and I go, oh, okay, I see he's got, but like I know for a fact, Zoink Games, if you don't have a completed URL on your YouTube channel, they won't give you a code. So if you have youtube.com 96BJKick, they won't give you a review code, because they feel like if you can't take the time to get to apply for that, then you're not worthy of, you're not going to take the time to do a proper review. It's little things like that like, you got to look at. Like, it's a joke. It's a joke. So that's. I'm probably going to get hate mail now again.
I think it's warranted, dude. Like,
listen, the last time I went off like that, you guys said the same thing, and then I'm the one that got cut off.
Hey, next episode we'll have someone from IGN here.
Justin Davis will block me now, and I don't know, I've never talked to him in my life. But
yeah, I completely agree. If he's giving out, or anyone, if they're giving out a code like without that person's knowledge or whatever, like, it's stupid to think that they're going to do a full-on review and be like, yes, buy this game. But every time a developer gives a review code out, they're taking something from their pocket in hopes that they reach 2. If they reach 2, then that's pretty much success.
Yeah.
But for someone who works at IGN to say they want this game for library purposes, how old is this game? How many different consoles is this game on?
Yeah. You have it in your library. You have it in your library. Guarantee you probably got on the 3DS, the Vita, the PS4, the Wii U, the Xbox. Like, save the BS, man.
Yeah. And there's also another side, because us three, we've all been in the situation where we've gotten review codes, or we've asked for review codes, and sometimes you're playing the game and you're just kind of like, I don't want to be negative towards it. And I feel like at that point, instead of just not doing anything, maybe contact the developer and be like, listen, I don't want to do the review. Because sometimes they don't want a negative review, and you don't want to be. The worst thing of not doing a review is doing a fake review, because then you lose your credibility. We're saying, oh, this game is great. I was just watching a bunch of reviews on Party Planet, that trash mobile compilation of games that are on the Switch. And I was just watching because you could tell the game is bad. Like I haven't played it. You can tell the game is bad.
Sorry.
So I was just watching reviews, and the people that are just forcing these positive reviews, it just, to me, your credit's gone at that point. Like even if you like the game, that's one thing, but that doesn't exist. But if you're just forcing and being like, oh, this game is so unique, buy this game, like to me, that's even worse than not doing a review. But
see, here's the thing I'll say.
Yeah.
And I know Josh Thomas would agree with me on this because we've had this conversation privately. You would get more credibility if you gave the bad review. It's not easy to do. But here's the thing. What you should do is you should do the review, explain that you didn't like the game, and maybe give the developer idea. Like, here's the thing. If I got, I don't know what game, Odyssey. I looked over there, I saw Mario Odyssey. So I got Mario Odyssey, and I'm not a fan of it. I could be like, this game is garbage. I don't like the way it did this, and this is horrible, and it's stupid that Mario throws a cat. Why didn't we have power-ups? And it'd be that's the one way to do a review. And then the other way to do a review is, listen, I wasn't really truly a fan of the power-up mechanics. I felt like it was a different flow of the game as opposed to in the past. Like, give the review a negative spin, but don't scream at the camera. Talk kindly. Yep. Offer constructive criticism to the reviewer. Because you know what? Sometimes they need that. Sometimes they don't just need their butt kissed and smoke blown up their ass. They need to know that, like, hey, someone didn't like this, and this is why they didn't like it. And someone like a Jules Watcham would not just blow that off as, oh, he don't know what he's talking about because I got 500 reviews over here that love the game. No, he needs to listen to the ones that don't like it because guess what? There's more people out there that are going to be like that person that aren't going to like the game. And you need to go like, well, why don't you like it? You know what I mean? Like, and
yeah,
that to me is the way to handle a game you don't like. If you request a code, you should do the game. You should do the review. If you request it. If the code just came across your lap, different ballgame. Mm-hmm. Then I don't feel like you're obligated to do anything.
You get to it when you get to it.
Yes. Or you don't get to it at all. That's totally your discretion. If you go, you know what? Now, in that situation where, like, you know what? I didn't like the game. That's a situation where you go back to them and go, listen, man, I didn't like the game. I didn't ask for the code. Do you really want me to do a review on this? I'll do the review. You might not like the results. That might be a different ballgame. Yeah. But in a situation where you requested, that's a little different. That's a little different. In my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like I agree with both of you guys. Sorry, Patrick, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's fine. It was probably good that you cut me off anyway. All right, Bobby. What do you got for us, man?
I feel like I talked enough today. Kimishima says that he wants to sell 20 million Switches in 2018. Is that even possible? So I'll start with Joe. What do you think?
So what's the number at right now? Because didn't we?
Right now we're at 10.
We're at 10 for 9 months in. I want to say yes, but with the caveat that 2018 brings us more than just the DLC stuff from 2017. And we get games like the Animal Crossings. If for some crazy miracle that Pokemon actually makes it this year, I think that's an easy one. We don't see Metroid Prime this year. I think the first Direct that we see in January is probably contingent on whether or not these if we're going to see 20 million units sold. I mean, gosh, I will say the Switches were selling like crazy at my local GameStop over here, and Switches on the Best Buy when I was looking at the Best Buy at my job, just out of curiosity, like seeing the influx of like Okay, pick up tomorrow. Pick up this following day. Pick up today. Like it going crazy in and out for the holidays seems like a good sign for it. Bayonetta coming out. I know it'll have its fan base there of people who want to play that and Part 3 when that comes out. I'm pretty positive. I'm still leaning towards yes. I think we will see that. But I think, and even looking at it realistically, I think it's going to be these directs coming up that are going to be crucial to what fans should be excited for and reasons to buy a Switch in 2018.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. I mean, if Pokemon comes out, that's a wrap. That's an easy 10 million just from that game.
That's owned a 3DS.
Yeah, exactly. And then if Smash comes out, that's another like 5 million who, just bought the Wii U for Smash. But yeah, like you said, these directs are going to tell a lot about this. And if it's anything like last year, the first direct will kind of show you, what the year has to come. I think Nintendo is certainly not done. I think they're going to bring over third parties. A few surprises we could probably expect, and some more third-party games like maybe Call of Duty, maybe Madden. So I think that we'll have some more like hardcore players come over. But I think Smash, Pokemon, you throw in Animal Crossing, that's easy. That's easy doubling in numbers right now.
I think it's gonna be tough. I don't think it's an easy thing. I mean, when you think about this, the number he's throwing out would be half of what the PS4 is at right now. That's staggering. Staggering to see what numbers. Man, if they do this, I would. Any person that ever throws shade at Nintendo or doubts Nintendo again should just shut their face. Like, if they're able to accomplish this, you never second guess these guys again. Because, man, going into the Switch, coming off the Wii U, everybody and their mother was like, nope, they're done. It's over. They're going third party.
Yeah.
Switch flops. It's done. Lights out. Game over. Dude, they have been like a man on a mission this year. And it is unbelievable to see what they've accomplished, to see how far they've come. I mean, Kimishima's saying that, but obviously, like, he knows something that we don't know. He knows his library that's coming out for next year. So for us, it's one of those situations of like, maybe, I don't know. Like, he must know that there's something coming that just, dude, I'll be honest with you. Like, man, could you imagine if they were like, hey, we got Final Fantasy VII Remake?
Yeah.
Dude, people are going to explode, man. Because they're going to be like, I want to play a game on the go. Like, I know I would. I'd rather play an RPG on the go. I would rather be able to play it at home, on the go, all that stuff. There's just some crazy stuff that they have, I think, up their sleeve that nobody sees. Like, to basically reiterate, if Pokemon gets announced, you got to think about it. Like, they sold, 20 million units of, X and Y, I think, if I'm not mistaken. It was so
on
crazy.
A dead console.
Yeah, on a dead console.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Like, Sun and Moon was way up there as well. Like, it's nuts to see. Like, they sold 20 million units of X and Y, and a lot of that came off the backs of, Pokemon Go. So, it's nuts to see what they can do.
Do you mean Sun and Moon?
No. X and Y. Because
X and Y was 20...
Yes, but what happened was Pokemon Go came out, and people went back and bought 3DSs. They saw their numbers raise. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
never mind, okay.
X and Y sold a lot as it was. They sold 2 million copies the first couple of weeks right off the get-go. You know what I mean? I think the first weekend they were close to 1 million.
Nuts.
So I think, honestly, they could do some crazy gangbuster numbers, and I think that they could probably sell, easily they could sell 5 to 10 million right off of Pokemon, without a doubt. So it's going to be interesting. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be pretty crazy to think that they can bounce back the way they bounced back. And I don't know.
The amount of franchises that haven't even been touched yet is crazy. And then, there are going to be people, I know that it's not really a big deal for us, but there are going to be the market there that sees when Virtual Console does come out, the fact that you could play all of these retro games like handheld, like on the go. That, to me, I still like, it hasn't set in yet that that's going to happen. Like I'm going to be able to play, like I've never modded PSPs and stuff like that. So for me, playing these retro games on the go is just like going to be crazy, especially we were talking about it a couple weeks ago with Josh. The price of GameCube games is just disgusting. So the fact that we can get them cheaper, that's appealing for someone, and that warrants, I think, a Nintendo Switch purchase. So,
well, I look at like a prime example for me was Skyward Sword. I don't recommend anybody buying this garbage of a game, but honestly, the game
20 people.
The game is good. I just can't stand the motion controls with it. The story is really solid with it. But that aside, so I kept looking for that game. And everywhere I looked, 70, 80 bucks, 90 bucks. Like, I couldn't get any cheaper. Then all of a sudden, Nintendo puts it on the eShop for 20 bucks. And I'm like, there it is. Lights out, done. Earthbound. Dude, first off, you have to find a Super Nintendo, right? Then you have to find a game. And, dude, those games are so expensive. The cartridge alone is like 90 bucks. 100 bucks, 200 bucks. Complete in box is like $1,000 for the thing. So it's nuts to see what Earthbound goes for. And then to think that, like, Nintendo puts on eShop for 20 bucks. And I was like, dude, that's a no-brainer. All day. Yeah. 20 bucks. This is how crazy it is. $20 for a Super Nintendo game they put on. And I bought it up because I was like, you know what? I can't buy it cheaper anywhere else. So, yeah, man, it can definitely, it definitely warrants. So if they can get some GameCube games on there, some Wii games, I think you'll see people pretty excited about this thing.
Yeah. And on the fact that they hadn't even announced anything since probably the launch, the Nintendo Online program, and that if that pricing is going to stay the same, that's huge too. What that might offer.
Two things. I don't know if you guys I don't think would notice because you haven't bought a new Switch. So Toby was telling me because his wife just bought a new Switch. When she got it and started going through like the setup menus, they have the online infrastructure there, where it talks about the pricing and the tiers and all that stuff. So they're saying like it's coming in 2018 in that section. Like she hits that point and it's like, hey, right now online gaming is free, but as of 2018 it switches and it goes to this. The other thing, I don't know when this update happened. So yesterday I was playing Blossom Tale or whatever, and I shut it off and I started doing some other stuff, and I went back and I turned my Switch on because I went to go play Mario Kart. And when you log in, right, when I open the Switch up, on the menu screen is, if I push A, it takes me right back into Blossom Tale. If I push the home button, then it brings me back to my menu. Which is kind of cool.
I don't think, now that you mentioned that, it did that to me with Xenoblade yesterday. Didn't even...
I think that's cool, man.
Occur to me.
It's kind of reminiscent to on the Wii U, the quick setup or the quick whatever they called it. You would log in, right? So you turn your Wii U on, and when you turn it on, like the last 10 things you opened were there, and then you could just click it and go back in and play. This is very similar, except for it just shows the last game you were playing, and then you can either just go right back in and keep playing that game, or you could press the home button and it takes you into the menu and all that stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. I thought that was really cool.
I didn't think you could use quick and Wii U in a sentence. That's kind of weird. That is painful, man.
Well, it was quicker than what it was.
Oh, man.
That was all stuff that Miyamoto worked on. He designed that quick menu thing because they were just like, we need help, and he was like, he just came up with some ideas that were just like, yeah, we're gonna do that stuff. Dude's pretty brilliant, man.
Jeez.
Well,
but yeah, 20 million.
20 million is going to be a hard number to get. Let's be honest, man. Like, they did 10 million this year. Now, that I think also in their mind is they're looking at it as 20 million units, right, with an unrestricted year, meaning we're going to be able to put out 20 million units.
Yeah.
Because I really believe they could sell whatever they put out right now. It may not sell like gangbusters here in the States, but dude, Japan is going bananas right now. Like, they just sold 420,000 units last week. That is insane. That is nuts right now.
And it's still mayhem over there, too. It's still lottery system. It's disgusting.
Like, that is crazy. That's absurd. To think that, dude, they could sell 10 million in Japan alone, I think. Like, if they were just to turn around tomorrow and be like, we're going to bring 10 million units to Japan, I'm telling you right now, you would have 10 million people lined up to get them things. Because, dude, they are rabid for this thing right now. So, that could be something he's looking at, too. And he's just looking at it and going like, man, look at how many people are showing up to these lotteries and aren't getting them. All those people are customers. But you got to think, too, like, how long before someone just gets tired of going through that system?
Yeah.
That's a crazy system. I could be the first person in line and I just get a lottery ticket. Doesn't even mean that I get the game. That sucks.
That's nuts.
I'd be like,
crazy.
Sorry, Japan.
I'm surprised they're not.
Yeah. But they also just surpassed, like, Wii U sold, right? Out there?
Japan just... in Japan, they just announced that they sold 3.3 million units, which was more than the amount of Wii U's they sold in the lifetime of the Wii U.
It's crazy that they could have just sold them all out there, but they're dispersing them everywhere. They could have taken care of the Japan market, their own market, but no, they're trying to like get these things spread out. It's crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But sucks for their system.
Pretty much.
Kicking off the year strong, guys.
Yes, indeed.
Oh man, seriously.
Well, that is all we have for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys tune in tomorrow for the Afterthoughts episode. Joe did the last one, so if you guys want to check that one, he also slept in too. So, there's a give and take there. But before we sign out, why don't you guys sign out? Bobby, where can they find you, man?
Instagram, Twitter, at Nintendo Gurus. Check me out on YouTube.com/Nintendo Guru.
And Twitch and YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all Joe After Work. And I just want to thank you guys. This has been an awesome year so far. Even the support on this podcast in particular and people coming over to like watching me stream has been kind of crazy. And saying #PNP, which is awesome, by the way.
That's awesome.
But yeah, no, thank both of you guys and thank everybody in your communities that have shown to support this year. This has been a crazy freaking year. I know you guys were talking about it last week. It's just like the amount of work that all of us had put in has shown for sure. And 2018 is going to be no different. So cheers to 2018. Thank you.
Excited, man. You can always find me at Nintendo Talk, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you next week. Peace out, Preston.
Peace out, Preston.
Bye.